Adam.
Okay, the polygon.
Adam, have I ever told you that I don't believe in thermoses? It is this weird thing where I...
Oh, like a soup thermos?
Yeah, like thermoses are the devil's work. Like but no, they're crazy. I don't understand how when I put coffee in a thermos 2 hours ago, it's still piping hot. Like there's some black magic there going on. It's fell magic.
Well, because it's in there and insulated, so the heat can't escape. So it's just in there circulating.
But
that's the design.
The lid is still open. The lid is still open, and I don't know how heat doesn't escape. I don't know. It's magic. I don't believe in them. Thermoses don't exist.
But it's a more narrower one, so it's tougher for the heat to escape. And like the metal design,
that's true. It's better than like a paper cup. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the College Gamers Podcast.
Why is that so loud? Oh. All right. Grade A professionalism here right now, people. My name is Mike. This is the College Gamers Podcast, where apparently music settings are set way up because the fairy slipped in at night. I am joined today by Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Mike.
But unfortunately, Taft could not make it here. Something came up, and so it's a two-man show. So you know what we get to do, Adam? We can finally trash talk Taft. Just the whole podcast. Let's trash talk him. No news is this week, because we're just going to trash Taft the entire time. Just kidding. We love Taft.
And then he listens to it, and then he comes back next week, and he says, shit's hitting the fan. Here's my rebuttals.
He's like pages and pages of like reasons why we're wrong and stuff.
I mean, he's good at arguing, so he's going to come in with like a full 20-page thesis saying, here's why you both are wrong.
He's going to wear a suit. He's going to have like a suitcase full of notes and things, you know? Like it's going to be the whole shebang. But yeah. I got some stuff to announce before we start the show, you know, to get into the news. Next week we'll be having, I'm like 90% sure, 99% sure. It hasn't, like, the time hasn't been set in stone, but we're pretty sure it's Saturday. That we're having Ryan Murphy from the Gamers Inn podcast as a host, as a guest host.
That should be fun.
Yeah, for our show. So anyone who's listened to the Gamers Inn over at amove.tv, that's a whole like podcasting network I listen to. So he's a pretty cool guy. Also, he also has a degree in computer science. So we've been talking about like when he can be on the podcast, but we're also talking about like computer science stuff. So that's been fun. But yeah, next weekend, hopefully we will have him on. So it should be fun. Yeah. And other than that, anything you want to announce while we're here?
I don't think so.
Cool. Let's just do the news then.
And now for the news.
All right, everything is still so loud. What is happening? All right, let's start off this week with a little bit of Hearthstone love. Hearthstone is getting its ranked ladder reworked. It's they're hoping in patch 7.1 to be adding floors to Hearthstone's ranked mode. These floors will be added at 15, 10, and 5. And what's going to happen is once you hit these ranks, you can't drop back below them. So currently, the only floor would be rank 20, because between rank 25 and 20, you can't lose stars, so you can't go down, but you can only go up. But once you hit rank 20, you can't go back down. And what they're hoping this will do is, at the moment, people want to grind to the top, to the highest rank they can get, and that means winning games as fast as possible. They want to just like a train, just like shoot their way up ranked ladder. But what happens is that means people are playing a lot of aggro decks. So they're killing people turn 5, turn 6, and they're hoping to slow down the meta by adding these ranked floors where people can, they're not scared to experiment with new decks, you know?
So it's like a cushion on the higher decks. Like if you're rank 2, you can't lose back down to rank 20.
Exactly. And what that gives you, the player, the confidence to be like, okay, I'm kind of stuck here. I can be more, what's the word? I can be more brave with the type of decks I use because I don't have the fear of going all the way back down to rank 15. You know, I spent hours and hours trying to get to the rank I am now, but I don't want to go all the way back down.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they're hoping to slow down the meta with this because Aggro Shaman and like Pirate Warrior, like these pirate decks they're crazy aggressive. So people are winning stupid quick, and it's a lot of people are complaining about like the meta not shaking up.
So like just trying to calm it down a bit more.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. They're trying to calm it down. They're trying to allow people to experiment with new decks because people are complaining that the meta is stale.
Okay.
And it's true. Like the game needs a shaking up, and hopefully this will allow people to shake up the game. Also in this patch, Spirit Claws, which is a shaman weapon, will have an increase in mana cost from 1 to 2. Small Time Buccaneer, which is a key part of the pirate aggro, is having his health change from 2 to 1. So they're slowing down some of those big aggro decks.
Is that going to be a big change as far as those decks? Or those cards?
They're certainly going to help slow down the decks early game, because aggro decks, what they want to do is get as many minions and as much damage on the board as possible, as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And you just want to throw down these cards. And what happens is Small Time Buccaneer, I believe it's a 1 mana cost card. And what they're hoping to do is, they're decreasing its health. So hopefully it doesn't stay on the board as long, and it gives your opponent more time to catch up and less time clearing that minion off.
Okay.
Also, by increasing mana cost, it delays that card by 1 turn.
Yeah.
And they're hoping... So what they're doing is slowing down these decks.
Okay.
And they're hoping this patch will hit near the end of February. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know, Adam, have you played ranked at all in
I
Hearthstone?
actually haven't been able to play Hearthstone in general for a while, because I like I've been saying, I've been limited with gaming, and as far as my laptop, like that should tell you my gaming status. My computer games are on a laptop.
Your Mac?
Yeah.
Your Mac laptop. To
Oh
boot.
yeah, here we go. He's about to harp on Mac people.
Mac's true.
But yeah, I just have the laptop, so just to play it safe, I usually have like one game installed. Like right now, I think it's Heroes of the Storm. At one point, I uninstalled everything else and had StarCraft on there, and before that, I had Hearthstone. So it's actually been a good while since I played Hearthstone.
Okay, you got a good rotation of Blizzard games. I approve of that.
Oh yeah,
I approve of that.
Next on my list is Overwatch, if I could ever do that, because I haven't played that and I really want to.
And it's not on Mac because Macs stink. Let's move on to
See, there it is.
something that doesn't stink, GTA. What's happening in GTA?
So, you can have a bunch of mods in GTA, but a new one coming out this week. You can, let's see here. It brings the Lion King to Grand Theft Auto. So let's take the brutality and the gore of GTA and mix it with the tranquility and the childishness of Lion King, because that makes a bunch of sense.
That's great. I love this. I love this.
So what it does here is it says it adds a host of characters from Disney's 1994 animated film, including Timon, Pumbaa, Ed, Shenzi, Banzai, Kiara, Nala, Scar, Mufasa, and Rafiki. I probably just butchered about half or all of those names. Oh, not to mention Simba, both his adult and his junior form.
That's great.
So these characters will be, I'm assuming you can be these characters. So in the article it shows a picture of Timon and Pumbaa. Like he's just holding a shotgun. Like you see that right there.
Yes. That's amazing. I'm glad they're together. Like they both like rob banks or something.
It's like you take these childhood characters, you put a gun in their hand, and you make them go out and mass murder people.
Yes, you can as Simba, you can drive up, have a prostitute into your car, and then proceed to drive her off a cliff.
Oh, so this mod requires the add-on ped script mod to function. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
add-on pets. Okay, so it's another ad that I guess it's another add-on that I'm assuming adds pets to the game.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know, just judging by the name.
So it's like a mod on top of a mod?
Yeah, like that mod requires the functionality of another mod.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, there might be some legal trouble with this, because creator Mr. Marco points out that some of the character models were taken from Kingdom Hearts 2. So potentially this could not be around for a while.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I can see that they just copied it. Though it probably wouldn't be too hard to change the model up and just keep it in the game and call it parody.
Possibly, but I mean, you know how people want to keep their games and their rights to themselves.
Oh, people get salty about. Oh, that's my character.
Oh yeah,
you can't take that. Or
like how we talked about a couple weeks ago, Nintendo with the Pokemon thing in Minecraft.
Yes, exactly. That's also a good example. Yeah, I would. This sounds like so much fun. I kind of want to go play this.
This would be really interesting to see. Like you take childhood and just
add guns.
Yeah.
I hope you can go through the whole story as who's the all right, Timon and Pumbaa. Which one's the short one? Which one's like the bull or the boar?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one's the
It's been forever since I've seen Lion King.
Oh yeah.
1-star reviews from people who are Disney fans.
I think Pumbaa's the hog.
That's what I'm thinking.
Possibly.
Too. I think Timon's the little short dude.
I think so.
I don't know. I would want to play him and just carry around the big assault rifle. And just,
if you, the listeners, know who is who, you can email us at collegegamershow@gmail.com and tell us you're both idiots. This is who's who.
Tell us to get a childhood and move on. And speaking of childhood, you know what game I played a lot in my childhood? Team Fortress.
I mean, you played a lot of games, so that doesn't narrow it down.
But Team Fortress, dude, can you believe Team Fortress came out in 2007? No, Team Fortress 2.
That's a 2007 game?
Yes.
I feel really old right now.
Yes, it still looks great and everything. But believe it or not, they just recently found a bug from the original, that has been in the game since release.
Wow.
All right. So what this bug does
So they just now found this 10 years later.
They just now found this. It's a 10-year bug anniversary.
Dang.
So what happens if you, the player, you get to a server and you pick either scout, heavy, or sniper. If you were to take that character and then switch to any of the soldier, pyro, demo, engineer, medic, or spy, what happens is that your character's animations get out of sync with the server's animations.
Ooh.
And what happens is, if you watch the video, go to PC Gamer, find this video. It's really fascinating to watch. But that means by those character models being out of sync locally and on the server side, your hitbox is out of sync with your character. Which means that a bullet, or say the soldier shoots a rocket at you, a rocket that should hit you, doesn't. But something that shouldn't hit you does.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it messes with what hits you and what doesn't. And it's super cool to see the character models and how those hitboxes are kind of over them and how that works. But it's kind of crazy. And what happens, this bug also works vice versa. So if you go from spy to heavy, you'll also get out of sync. And nothing fixes this. If you were to I think leave server and come back, I think that also breaks it. Or it's still there. It's a pretty bad
So you
bug.
can't just leave party and come back in and it'll be fixed.
Yes, I think it's persistent through all that, and it's crazy to think, and it's a good thing they fixed this because Team Fortress 2 they're hoping to grow competitively as a game. It's a whole nother story talking about why they're late to this. That's for a whole nother podcast. I could rant about that for an hour, but it's good that they're fixing this because this is going to be a big issue if they want to be a competitive game. Hitboxes are a big deal.
Oh yeah, you need set hitboxes because if you try this in competitive, this is just going to be absolute chaos.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be mad about that. If you're like, oh, it didn't hit me. Well, it did, or So, but it's kind of crazy. I recommend watching the video because it's really fascinating to watch. But yeah, all right.
And this was just from switching a character.
From switching characters, it's the animations get out of sync. I mean, I'm sure it's not that hard to fix. Yeah, it's easy in terms of bugs. I'm sure it's not that hard to fix. But it's crazy that something like this has persisted in the game for 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
That's insane.
And you said this wouldn't stop even if you left. So how would the glitch stop?
I'm assuming that you leave the game, come back.
So you'd have to leave. You'd have to close out Team Fortress 2 and come back into the entire game.
Well, actually, with leaving servers, I'm assuming if you leave the server and come back, you're then back in sync because you're restarting that connection with the server.
Okay.
But if you were to maybe switch sides or switch back to that character, they would still be out of sync. So once you're out of sync with the server, it's permanent until you reconnect with it.
Okay.
That makes more sense. Okay. That's 10 years, man. That's a hell of a bug.
I'm starting to feel real old now.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing that game way back in the day.
You know what else we played back in the day? Pokemon.
Solid transition there.
Thank you, sir.
So, for those of you who thought you got your Pokemon Go news from me last week and you'd never heard about it again, I say to you, ha 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 ha. That's right, you have more Pokemon Go news right now. I can't talk, apparently.
Adam, podcaster by day, apparently evil scientist by night. Awesome laugh. All right, keep going.
So, Pokemon Go just got a pretty big update, actually. And funny enough, this was actually the day after the Valentine's event ended. So I'm guessing what they did with the Valentine's event was they got awareness back to Pokemon Go, so that when this hit, it actually people actually went, "Oh wow, they're actually moving gears again."
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty smart by them. What we get for this, the update is live on iOS and Android. The biggest thing we get from this is 80 new Pokemon. They're all Generation 2 Pokemon from the Johto region.
Did we have Gen 2 before?
No, it was all Gen 1 from like the original starting Pokemon.
Okay.
So, from the Johto region, these include some of the fan favorites like the Johto starters, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. And I can confirm that they are there because I have Chikorita and Totodile, and it's great. It's bringing back childhood.
All right. Which starter did you choose for Gen 2? I mean, like, when you played... what games are these? These were older games. But, like, when you played the games for Gen 2, which one did you choose?
I'm not sure if I did, but if I did, I probably would have gone with Cyndaquil because he looked great.
Oh, Cyndaquil's badass. I think... I can't remember if I went Cyndaquil or... what's the other one? Totodile.
The water type?
Yeah. I can't remember. I'm always fire or water, like grasses. Anyway, hey, keep going.
So yeah, that's one part of it. The next part we get is new evolution items, and what these are, you get these at Pokestops, and they're required to evolve certain Pokemon. This mainly pertains to some of the Pokemon we have already, but now you can unlock their evolutions, like stuff with you need an item to evolve Scyther to Scizor, or Seedra to Kingdra, Slowpoke to not just Slowbro, but Slowking now, and on and on.
Yeah, okay.
So that's with that. You don't need them for some of them, because you couldn't evolve Chansey to Blissey, but now you could, but you don't need an item for that. You just need a certain number of candy.
Okay. And that's how it's always been, right? It's always been candy to evolve?
In Pokemon Go, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, this is playing to the original game, because in the traditional Pokemon games, you would sometimes need an item to evolve them.
Yeah, like stones.
Yeah.
Like lightning stone, water stone. Okay. All
right. So that's with that, and we also get new berries with this, and what these are, you have two of them. You have the, see if I can say this right, Nanub berry.
That's what I would have said.
We're butchering names today. This is great. So what this one does is it slows a wild Pokemon, making it less likely to run away. When it says slows, I don't know if that makes it harder for it to dodge as well, but the main thing it's supposed to do is make it less likely to run away from you in a wild encounter.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would save these up for rarer Pokemon.
Yeah, and use them selectively, because I found out that you can only use one at a time. So if you use this, you can't use a raspberry or the other one.
Okay.
So what I thought you could do is, I'm like, oh, we get more berries. I can use all three of them, and it'll work out great. No, You can only use one. So like if you want an increased chance to catch it with a raspberry, you can't use a Nanub berry to make it not run away. Also.
Well, like they all benefit you somewhat, so maybe it's just like a way of choosing how you want to be helped. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one is the Peanut berry. I probably butchered that name too. But if you use this, then if you successfully catch it, you get twice as much candy. Now, during an event like we had with Valentine's, this could be dangerous, because if you use this and it works, that means you could potentially get like 4 times as much candy for one catch.
That ain't bad.
That would be great. What else we have here? Oh, we have more character customization options available. They say they're available for purchase, and I don't know if that means you buy them with Pokecoins or with actual money.
All right, what? Okay, so like Pokecoins you get in game, but
yeah, you can get Pokecoins. You get Pokecoins in game from Defender bonus from gyms, but you can also purchase them with real money.
I would think. Okay, like you don't see other people's characters very often.
You can see them if they have a Pokemon in the gym.
I got
Like
you.
if their Pokemon's in the gym, you also see their character, like their character.
But I don't think, well, like that's the only time you see them, right?
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe, I think it's going to be in-game money because like if it were real game money, it would have to be something like really cool, like a fancy hat. We were just talking about Team Fortress, so I guess hats make sense. But I'd say it's a really fancy big hat, like I don't know, one of those English guards. They're like the tall black hats. Like that'd be really cool. That'd be like, oh, that's something cool. That's something that makes my character stand out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it'd be worth the money if the only time anyone else ever saw it was when I was at a gym.
Well, this could also be for future updates because remember they're trying to get trainer battles in, which could potentially have you and another character interact in more than just you seeing them in a gym.
Then it would make sense. Then, yeah, like that. Ooh, does that hint that we might get character? That we might get player battles soon. Hopefully,
but what's funny enough about this update is it's some Gen 2 Pokemon, but we were promised trainer battles. Actually, we were promised the trading system first, and then trainer battles, and then this. So, I mean, I'm not complaining that we got this. This is great that we got this, but I don't know. They're kind of out of order, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe to say
it's possible that trainer battles are just taking longer than they expected.
Yeah.
Maybe they were. You know what? I bet happens. I bet they were going to stick with that tapping, the thing that I hate, where you just like sit there and tap your Pokemon. I think they got a bunch of feedback on that. No one liked it. Or I don't know. How do you feel about tapping?
It depends on what you do, because like with gyms, I can see it with gyms because like some people are in a hurry. Like you're on campus, there's a bunch of gyms on LSU's campus. Maybe you're in a hurry, so I don't know. Picking like the turn-based things can take a while.
Yeah,
like in traditional Pokemon games, if you get a tough battle, like everyone's Pokemon in the gym is going to be strong. So if you get a turn-based thing, it could take a while.
I gotcha. But like if you had the choice, would you prefer turn-based or tapping?
For the gyms, probably just stay with the tapping because that could be quicker and more efficient as far as gym battles. But if we get trainer battles, I could probably see why they're delaying this because maybe they're trying to get the turn-based, like actual moves for a trainer battle.
Oh, I would prefer turn-based just because I don't know. I feel like I have more options with turn-based. Like I can sit there and be like, I want to use flamethrower, or wait, that's a move, right? Yeah, and then I want to use like false swipes to capture this Pokemon or something, Yeah. So I feel like turn-based would just be better, but maybe they're trying a new system, something completely new that we haven't seen.
Well, turn-based could also only be applied in this for gym battles or trainer battles because in the wild, all you do is throw a Pokeball at it.
That's
true. You don't have to weaken it.
You don't have to worry about health or anything. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that would be cool. I hope to see turn-based for friends. Because, if you battle a friend, then you can, you all are probably both sitting there, sitting next to each other or something.
Yeah, I can see this for, trainer battles.
Yeah, you have the time. But there would be confusion if gym battles and then player battles had two different combat systems.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to add to this Pokemon Go?
What it also did...
To the polls?
Was, what it also did is now, this could possibly be hinting at possibly the Pokemon breeding program soon, because Pokemon now have separate genders. Like, Pokemon can now be male or female. So, I mean, that's the thing you have to do for breeding. So we might get breeding in the future. Maybe not soon, but in the future. The only Pokemon this does not apply to is Ditto, because for some reason Ditto is just Ditto. It doesn't have separate genders.
I don't think Ditto had genders in the game. Right? Maybe?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it did.
Because he could just breed with any Pokemon. Because he's weird like that. He's super kinky, and he's like, "Ooh, I'll be any Pokemon you want, baby. Ooh, make me transform."
Oh, that
got weird.
Yeah, that's the terrible thing about Ditto, because you can only get Ditto by I remember Taft saying he's going to kill every Rattata. But in Pokemon Go, you can only get Ditto by catching a Pidgey or Rattata and it turning out to be a Ditto.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's the only reason you can get Ditto. That's why I hate it, because I'm sitting
there. You gotta
there,
catch all these useless Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I do not want to catch this Pidgey or this Rattata, but I have to because it could possibly be a Ditto and I want that Ditto candy.
Do you know the chance of it being a Ditto?
No, but it's actually not as uncommon as you think. I do have a bunch of Dittos. It's not extremely common, but it's not uncommon.
What would you say, 1 out of 50 or something?
Possibly. When I'm playing it every day and just have my phone out all the time, usually about every I want to say every at least 4 days I'll find a Ditto,
Okay.
something like that.
I gotcha.
But that's if you play like extremely frequently.
Yeah, I gotcha. And you know that's not too bad. Oh, you know, people who play a lot, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I don't play Pokemon Go anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, here's your chance to pick it back up. Gen 2 is now out there.
Awesome. Even more Rattatats, I guess. But
oh yeah, this game has new Pidgeys and Rattatas. There's a bunch more that are extremely common.
no, that's not what I need to hear. But all right, before we move on, breeding. So like in the games, we had to go to the Pokemon. I don't know. It was a daycare or a pimp house, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you want to get to the nitty gritty, anyway. But you get to take them there. So in Pokemon Go, how would you feel if they were like, okay, here are the locations of all the daycares, and you a player could go to a daycare location, say it was like a local Starbucks or something. You had to go to the Starbucks and be like, oh, while I'm here, I'm going to leave my Pokemon here. And you go to work, at the end of the day, you come home. Oh no, you go to the Starbucks and be like, hey, I just got back from work, better go pick up my Pokemon. You know, how would you feel about that?
That'd be interesting because it'd be you having to go to a specific location, like that could potentially be out of the way every time. What I think they could do with this, actually, I remember reading about this one time. What I think they're planning to do is transform Pokestops into not just be Pokestops, like they'll still function like Pokestops now,
Yeah.
but have them also be like Pokemon centers and Pokemon daycares, so you could, like do what a Pokemon center does, and then also, if they put in the breeding program, then possibly you could leave Pokemon there and have them go through the Pokemon breeding.
Nice. And that makes sense because we already have a lot of, especially on campus.
Oh yeah, you can't go like 20 feet without there being a Pokestop.
What would be the point of what do you, not the daycare, what's the other one?
Pokemon Center?
Pokemon Center.
I don't know because essentially all you really do in a Pokemon Center is you buy items and you heal your Pokemon, but you get the items from the Pokestop.
I gotcha.
So I guess Pokestops could just become a Pokemon Center because you do get all your items from Pokestops.
Well, in the game currently, why do I need to heal my Pokemon? Other than, I guess, after a gym battle. But maybe they're slowly morphing the game into something more like player versus player oriented.
Possibly, because right now if you don't heal your Pokemon, like say it's just damaged, and what that does is like say you go into another gym battle, like it's at that current health, it's not at full health. Or if it's fainted, like if it's at 0 HP, you can't access it for a gym battle and you can't trade it or transfer it.
Okay. So it's gym battles are mostly where damage comes from.
Right now for the main part, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything before we move on?
I think that's all we got. This was a pretty big update as far as Pokemon Go goes, so that's just showing that they're like finally getting the gears moving.
Awesome. You know when we're gonna get Gen 3?
I mean, they just got Gen 2, so I would expect it for not a while. I mean, we still have yet to get trading and trainer battles, so I wouldn't expect. Well, maybe this shows that they've gotten some gears running, so maybe we might get something soon. Yeah. But I mean, we just got an event and a major update, so. I
gotcha. Well, let's move on to Valve. So in the past, Gabe Newell has stated his dislike for the Steam Greenlight system, and he's been saying this as far back as 2013. He doesn't like it. He wants to replace it. That replacing it has been the game plan since they released it. So what they're hoping to do, they recently announced that they want to replace it with Steam Direct. And Steam Direct will be going live in the spring and will enable developers to put their games on Steam without having an approval process.
Okay.
Like they can just put it on there. And my first thought with this is, well, what stops like Joe Schmo from putting up images of his mom on Steam for $100 or something, like something weird like that? I don't know
what if you put in another game with a bunch of problems, like we get another No Man's Sky?
Exactly.
1-star review from everybody because we all hear No Man's Sky and go, "Oh my god, not again!"
No, bury it in the back. But okay, but there are some like protections against like having anyone post crap on Steam. What they want people to do is that you have to post personal, or you don't post, but you give Valve personal and company verification as well as tax documents, and they're hoping the system will be similar to setting up a bank account.
Okay.
Also, there will be a fee in order to put new titles on Steam. And they're hoping, like, they're thinking it's going to range from $100 to $5,000. And like, so the thing is, if it's really low, you can let more independent developers on, you know?
Okay.
Or more people, like, a good example would be, Stardew Valley. One guy made the game. One guy developed the game. He might not have $5,000 laying around to release it.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to find a balance in price that will allow small companies and small developers to put their games on Steam, but without blocking out everyone but, you know, AAA titles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's what they're hoping to do. I'm really excited because at the moment, the way Greenlight works, from my understanding, is that developers are like, here's my game. This is what it does. This is what it looks like. It's still in development. And then the community votes on those games about which ones do they want to allow into Steam and which one do they want to block from not accessing Steam. You know? Okay. And then, like, then like games that are voted in, you can play while they're still in development. Like they're still like, and they warn you that, oh, this is the Greenlight game. It's not done yet when you purchase it.
So like an alpha or a beta.
Exactly. You play the beta of the game or an alpha in some cases. I think, Kerbal Space Program was in alpha when it's released on Steam.
Okay.
And I think it might still be in beta actually, because they released a beta than ever, one about a year ago. So, I'm excited for this because this opens the floodgates to anyone with a good idea or anyone with an idea for a game. And I think economics is going to kick in, and the games that are good are just going to naturally float to the top, and the games that are bad will sink to the bottom.
Yeah, is there any kind of restriction on the game? Like, does there have to be a specific way it's done? Because, I mean, you don't want, like, a half-assed game that has a bunch of glitches and is terrible to play.
Yeah. I don't think so. As long as they have the proper documents and they can afford the gate or like the entry fee, anyone can enter it. But then the game that you're describing, no one will want to play it. So they just refund the game and they get a bunch of 1-star reviews. No one's going to play it. It sinks to the bottom, while a game that has no bugs and it's great will float to the top.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, economics will kick in. People will decide what they like and don't like, and we'll naturally get the good stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And that's it for the news. Short news this week because Taft could not be here. So
it's almost like we're missing 3 articles or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like 1/3 of the show is away. But you want to talk about what games we're playing?
Let's do it.
What games are we playing?
All right, Taft. Wow, he's not.
He did it again.
He's not even here, and I did it. It's where's my coffee? I need my coffee. But
in that thermos that you don't like.
That thermos, that evil thermos. But yeah. What have you been playing, Adam? Not Taft. Your name is Adam.
Yeah, he got it. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Applaud him.
Thank you.
In the future from now from us.
Shame me for not getting the names right.
So I basically just played what I play like every week. So I played obviously Pokemon Go. Been making a bunch of use on that on the new update. And it's been pretty interesting because I mean, like when it first gets going, like you find all these new Pokemon, you're starting to see like what's common and what's not, basically. Because actually a bulk of these, or a good portion of these are evolutions of Pokemon that weren't there. Like before Gen 2, you couldn't evolve Chansey to Blissey, or you didn't have the Politoed option from Poliwhirl and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just new evolutions to Pokemon that were already there. So there's actually, I mean, there's still a bunch of new Pokemon, but there's not as many as it would think, because a bunch of them are just new evolutions.
I gotcha.
And I forgot to mention one thing with Eevee. What this also does, like, we don't just have Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. We also now have 2 more. We have Espeon and Umbreon.
Are they still random?
Yeah, it's still random, but the name trick still works. And here's the thing that I was missing: the name trick also works if you want to get Espeon or Umbreon. I found what names to nickname them.
Okay, wait. I've heard about this trick, but explain to me what the name. Like, you name them a certain thing, and it guarantees a.
Yeah, there's a nickname feature on it. You can name your Pokemon whatever you want, but regarding Eevee, if you nickname it something, it has a higher chance to evolve to what you want it to.
Interesting. So is it like if you nickname it Fire, does it become Embryon more often?
So what it does, these aren't guaranteed. This could not work, but it increases the probability. For Vaporeon, I believe you nickname it Aqua.
Not Embryon. No, wait. Vaporeon is the fire one?
Oh my gosh.
Please help me.
Do you Pokemon, bro?
I don't even it's been a while.
Vaporeon is the water type.
Oh, is Embryon the fire one?
Flareon.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez.
1-star review from not even just Pokemon Go player, from Pokemon players in general.
Yes. This is what happens when Taft isn't here. I just kind of like flop around like a fish. What's a video game?
So for the ones we had before this, for Vaporeon, if you wanted Eevee to evolve to Vaporeon, you would nickname Eevee Aqua. If you wanted a Jolteon, you nickname Eevee, I believe it was Sparky. And then if you wanted Flareon, you nickname Eevee Pyro. So now we figured out the ones, because people hop on this immediately. They
just sit there and guess names?
Oh, I'm guessing that's what happened, because I have no idea how they got these. But what it says is, so these people finally figured it out, and like, how do you figure it out? Do they just sit there guessing random names and
catch a bunch of EVs?
These names don't even make sense either, because like Espeon's a psychic type, and I believe Umbreon. This is just a podcast of butchering names, isn't it? Yeah. This is great. and Umbreon's a dark type, so these nicknames actually, I have no idea how this works, because
what are the names?
Because like if you want a higher chance for it to be Espeon, you nickname it Sakura, and that's the spelling as in, like, the Sakura from Naruto. Like, the character Sakura.
Does that mean something? Isn't it, like, cherry blossom or something is, like, what Sakura means?
Yeah, Sakura is a type of flower, but I don't get that, because Espeon's a psychic type.
I don't know, maybe there's some, like, cultural connection that we don't get because we're from America. I don't know.
But you spell that Sakura for Sakura. If you want a higher chance for an Espeon, you nickname your Eevee that. And if you want a higher chance for Umbreon, you nickname it Tamayo. However you say that. It's spelled Tamao, and I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's some.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a dark reference. Maybe because Umbreon's a dark type.
I don't know. That's weird. Because like the other three.
I hope Umbreon's a dark type, and we're not getting even more 1-star reviews from Pokemon players.
The other three made sense, like Pyro for fire, Aqua for water, Sparky for like those
electric. Yeah,
those made sense. These two. Maybe they didn't want people finding out what names they were, so they...
Or even if there was a thing at all, because it could just be a code glitch or something.
Maybe. Yeah, well, my thought is these names are for the developers, and when they want to test the evolutions, they're like, okay, make sure these names are more probable,
But it's also not guaranteed, because, like, it's happened to me. I've nicknamed an Eevee Pyro, and it'll evolve to Jolteon or Vaporeon. Yeah.
But maybe it just sets the percentage for 1 to like 80% or something.
That makes sense.
Just as an arbitrary number. But like it just like, oh, here we'll make sure it's not like a complete cheat code, but here's a higher chance to get this one.
Yeah.
That's probably for like the developers.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Anything else?
Played a bit of Smash Bros for the Wii U and 3DS. As far as the 3DS, I haven't been using it a lot. I mean, I'll play Smash Bros a bit just because I'll have a bit of time between classes, but I haven't really been playing Pokemon Moon as much because, I mean, I've completed the story, so all there's really left to do for me is to complete the Pokédex, but that's so tedious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And especially going through and, like how we were talking about last week, going through and finding the pieces of that one legendary Pokemon, you literally cannot leave a portion of the map unexplored because these pieces are tiny and they are everywhere.
They're just like the sparkle.
Yeah, it's like
animation.
A sparkling little green, like, not blob, but just like mist or dust or something.
Yeah.
So you get this cube and then you go through the map and then you find the pieces of it, or like its core, I think, which are like moves you can program into it. It's just weird. You literally have to explore everything that you can see because these pieces are quite literally all over the game and everywhere.
Yeah. And there's 40 of them?
I don't know how many pieces exactly, but it goes on percentages. So once you have 10% of the total amount in the game, you can program its 10% form. And then once you
I see.
So it has a 10% form, a 50% form, and a 100%.
I remember talking about this, yeah.
Yeah, I have the 50% form right now, so that means I found at least half or more.
Jeez.
So like to get the next form, I have to find literally every piece of it before I can get the full form.
That sounds
Yeah.
too grindy for me.
And then I've gone through and tried to catch the legendaries of this game, which are called the Tapu, I believe. That is so hard because what you have to do, it's so hard because it's so easy to kill them. Like, I will literally go through and try to weaken the Pokemon and I'll one-shot it. I'm like, how am I doing this? This is a legendary Pokemon. It shouldn't be this easy to kill
You're
it.
not supposed to die.
So then I'll go through and I'll, like, I tried to use False Swipe to leave it with 1 HP and then hypnotize it, like, put it to sleep with hypnosis. But it still didn't work, and then somehow
False Swipes killed it.
No, False Swipe didn't kill it, but like somehow, some other time, I ended up making it faint, or like it made me run away or something.
Oh, did you confuse it and then it hit itself and like died or on the?
No, I used hypnosis, and hypnosis puts it to sleep.
I gotcha.
But what it would do is it would wake up, and then it would either, I don't know,
attack.
somehow I would make it faint, or it would make me run away. And then what it does with that is it says Tapu, whatever it's called, disappeared, and then that's really.
Then you reload to save.
No, that's really bad because what you have to do after that is to get another chance to catch each of the Tapu in Sun or Moon. You have to re-battle the Elite Four, which takes forever and it's so hard.
Oh my gosh. That sounds...
So I've kind of been putting that off because I tried this with...
I don't blame you.
I tried this with every Tapu and I either made them faint or ran away. So now I have to go battle the Elite Four to try and get them all again.
How many are there?
I think there's, if I remember correctly, it's 3?
3?
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
There's a couple islands, and there's usually a Tapu for each island, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's just 3.
Oh, okay. Cool. These sound like a pain in the butt. Are they are they fire, water, like, are they like...
Something like that. I don't remember which one is which, but I know there's a water type, fighting type, I believe. Stuff like that.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
But yeah, just putting that off as much as possible because battling the Elite Four again is going to be an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah, you do that. Do they, every time you beat them, they get tougher, right? Is that how that works?
For the Elite Four?
Yeah.
Or the Legendaries?
No, the Elite Four.
I'm not sure. I've only fought them the one time. But what's so annoying about it is you can, once you start fighting them, you can't stop until you beat them. So that means the amount of times a Pokemon can use a move, if you use that move and you still have to battle another member of the Elite Four, you can't, like, it doesn't recharge that move. And then whatever items you have, if you run out of potions or you run out of revives, you're screwed.
Okay, because like in Omega Ruby, you had times between members, so I would like I wouldn't stock up. I would like use a bunch of, oh, this guy died, here's a revive. Heal everyone
like
up.
go to a Pokemon Center and like recharge their moves or something like that.
Well, no, you couldn't do that in between Elite Four members. But there is these like bridges between their...
Yeah, you have the bridges and you have time between the Elite Four.
Okay.
So you can use items and
but you can't go to a Pokestop.
Yeah, you can't, like PP is the amount of times that Pokemon use a move. If you run out of PP, you can't use that move anymore, even if you still have to battle another member of the Elite Four.
That's annoying. But you can't use a...
You can use items in between, or even during.
Okay.
But that counts as your turn, like usual. But yeah, between, if you have a Pokemon that's fainted, you can revive it and use potions to restore its health. But if you run out, then that's all you get.
I gotcha. I remember for Omega Ruby, I lost to the Elite Four the first time, but then I just Groudon my way through the entire Elite Four. Like Groudon took my Blaziken was just chilling out, like, hey, you want some help? But Groudon's like, no, I got this, fam. And just like started like bitch smacking all the other Pokemon. It was...
See, that's tough about this because you can't game legendary your way out of this. Because at least for Pokemon Moon, like Lunala is the game legendary and it's a dark type. I mean, it's powerful, but I mean, the Pokemon that the Elite Four have are also extremely tough. So they'll like it takes a bunch for me just to beat one, and then I have to like grind my way through every single one of their Pokemon.
Okay, so they're harder this game.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because
you can't game legendary your way out of the Elite Four.
Okay, darn. I can't just like Groudon transform into your like Omega form and just kick everyone's ass. Like I would just like one shot my way through everyone. Because like Earthquake,
you do that for literally everything else except for the boss of the challenges, but you can't do it for this. This is
darn. Darn you, Groudon. Don't let me down. You know, it's been a crazy ass week. I haven't played much. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I don't know if I mentioned this last podcast.
I think you did, with like how you couldn't get into the quest because you don't have the required armor or gear.
Exactly. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of WoW. I've been leveling up my Frost Death Knight because okay, so
you might say that's just cold.
Oh, but in Legion, I don't know if you know about this, but in Legion, each class, like you have like talent, you have specializations within your class. So like as a paladin, you can be a tank, you can be a healer, you can deal damage. But then in Legion, each specialization has a artifact weapon, and these are special weapons that you can you basically level them up. You can level them up. They have their own talent trees. I'm simplifying this, but so I wanted to level up my Death Knight because the Frost Death Knights, there's like this whole story of getting your artifact weapon, and their story for Frost Death Knights is that you reclaim pieces of Frostmourne, which are from in Wrath of the Lich King, which was the second expansion for World of Warcraft. The big bad guy was the Lich King. He controlled like these undead armies. And he had this awesome weapon called Frostmourne. It was this legendary sword that when you kill people, it would take their souls, and he commanded like these undead armies because of that sword.
Oh, cool.
And what happens is that when you defeat him, Frostmourne becomes fractured. And as a Frost Death Knight, you go through and you pick up those pieces and then craft your own like...
Oh, and then you can use that sword?
Well, no, you craft like a pair of swords from the pieces.
Ooh,
yeah, it's super cool, and I really wanted to go through that quest line.
Does it have that same ability?
No, unfortunately, I cannot.
That takes all the fun away from that.
Yeah, I can't control armies of undead, but yeah, that was really cool. And I've been playing WoW, but it's been
so we're both collecting pieces of stuff that's really tedious to find.
Exactly, except I only have 4, and I've already done it. So
wow.
It was a bit easier for me, I think.
There are literally dozens, if not more, of Ziggurat in Pokemon Moon and Sun.
Yeah, that'd be a really grindy. That'd be a really grindy quest line if that were the case. And WoW.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and I've been like leveling my shaman up, not leveling him up, but gearing him up, as I said last podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a busy week, so I haven't had time to go and mess around with other games. But
how dare you not play games?
I mean, I played games, just only one game, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's really been it. Anything else? You think it's a show?
I think so.
Cool. Anything you want to add?
Not really. Still getting shit stomped by my friend in Smash Bros.
Oh, well.
We beat each other a bunch.
Where's the fun if you're not getting shit stomped?
I mean, you could also do this thing called winning.
Winning?
Just a suggestion.
I don't win.
Oh, I was sad because there was a Smash Bros tournament at his dorm, and it wasn't Smash Club. Like, these people probably would have been easier to beat, but I couldn't go. I mean, no offense to y'all in the dorm, but I mean, these guys in Smash Club at LSU are insane.
I see. A bunch of scrubs are getting together, and you were like, let's go kick some scrub butt.
Oh, yeah.
I gotcha. All right. Well, that show to... Oh, jeez. So
you
close.
Couldn't even make it through the end without doing it again.
So close. Is that a show, Adam?
Yes, Mike, that is a show.
All right. Pencils down, everyone, because this is the College Gamers Podcast, and we're done. You can contact this here show and tell us what Disney character is which, and anything else they should yell at us about. Is that it?
There's probably a bunch more.
Yeah,
but
make a list of things to tell us why we're wrong. And
be like Taft, make a list and be ready next show and come in.
Exactly.
And be like, get out of my way. Here we go.
Exactly. So you can send us your hate mail at collegegamersshow@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter if you want to yell at me personally at BlueCows with a Z, BLUECOWZ. Adam, your Twitter.
Hey, he actually did it right. I thought he was going to say Taft.
I was so close.
My Twitter is SmoothDog5, and I will speak for Taft here. His Twitter is TaftFaust8.
Sounds good.
And he hasn't done the thing where he spelled it in a while, so I'll just do it. TaftFaust.
8.
There we go.
You can find us on Facebook through the College Gamers Podcast Facebook page. And you can find us on YouTube at Mike Gallant because Google Plus
is stupid.
Thank you. But if you get anything out of the show, if somehow you find a small smidgen of entertainment, please head over to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. And if you want to leave us a 1-star, leave us a 1-star, but change it to 5 right before you submit it and tell us why we stink, but with a 5-star review. And I think that's it.
Or you could give us money on Patreon.
That's true. Or you could do that. You can find us on Patreon.
Unless you're a poor college student like us.
Exactly. And I'm poor because I have to afford a podcast. But I think that's it. Thank y'all for listening, and we'll catch y'all later or next time, wherever. Later.
Bye-bye.
This has been a Blue Cow Radio production. Find more at bluecowradio.com.
We need to start keeping a college gamers minigame thing where we count how many times you call me Taft.
It's a drinking
or
contest.
everything else that we do a bunch.